G'day, how you going?
Mm-hmm.
All right, come on through, Nick.
Thanks, mate.
Up to you. Have a seat on the white chair. Okay. So today, Nick, we'll go over some of your history.
Yeah.
And then I'll do some tests on you just to get a clearer picture of what I think's going on. And then before treating you, I'll give you a little summary of what I think's going on.
Yeah, perfect.
Sounds good. Okay, so first up, thanks for filling out the online pre-consultation form. I have read it, but if it's okay with you, we'll just go over the same bunch of questions just to make sure we haven't missed anything.
Yeah, of
okay?
course. Let's do it.
All right, so tell me then in your own words, what's going on? What's going on with your back?
Severe pain is going on with my back.
Severe
Like
pain.
7 years?
Oh, sorry, 7 years of pain, not
Severe pain for 7 years.
Okay, all right, severe pain for 7 years. That doesn't sound very good.
It
Okay.
doesn't feel very good.
Where is your pain?
It sort of changes. So I don't know if it's a case of like overcompensating certain muscles, whatever, but a lot of the time it goes from upper back to lower back. The past year I've been getting quite a lot of hip pain, I'm guessing.
Both hips?
I think just my right hip actually. And then at the moment I'm going through a bit of neck pain and stiffness, which doesn't happen very often.
Okay, that's quite a lot.
Yes.
So you said this has been going on for 7 years. Was it 7 years ago that you first noticed the pain?
Yeah, so yeah, it would have been around 7 years ago when it started to hurt.
What happened 7 years ago?
Nothing of importance, it just started hurting. I saw a chiropractor and a physio about 6 years ago, who gave me a set of exercises, diagnosed me with scoliosis. And nothing ever came from that. I continued doing the exercises with no help to the pain.
Okay, so let's rewind.
Yeah.
So 7 years ago, for no apparent reason, you just started to suffer upper back pain, lower back pain, neck pain and stiffness.
I can't remember if it was upper or lower first. I believe it was pretty upper. I just started getting back pain at work. I just said I was too tall, bending over a lot of the time. But I just continued on. I saw a chiropractor to try and figure out what's going on with it, get it fixed. And he sat me down at his table, did a few tests, and then told me to get an X-ray because he couldn't do anything for me. Is what he said in his words.
So wait, he told you to get an X-ray and then got those results?
I got the results.
But from those X-rays, he felt he couldn't do anything for you?
Well, no, he couldn't do anything before the X-rays. After that, he told me to see a physio as well.
Okay.
So I went on to see a physio after him and took treatment with the physio, who gave me a few exercises to do to try and straighten out my spine and my hips.
Okay. So between the two of them, the only thing that you got out of it was that you have scoliosis.
Yes.
And also at some point somebody told you that being a taller guy and bending forwards lots at work
Could be
that's the reason. Okay.
Pretty good, hey?
Yeah, I mean there's a lot that's going on here. So what's worse in this current moment? What's the thing that's bugging you the most? Is it the upper pain, the upper back pain, lower back pain, the hip pain, the neck?
Well, the hip comes and goes in waves, so does the lower back. Usually it's the upper back that's quite sore on the right hand side. That's sort of where I'd imagine the shoulder blade is. So like upper middle to the right hand side. And that feels like it spasms out sometimes. It's just always quite a constant pain there. And then for the past week, I've had quite a bit of neck pain as well. So I thought it was time to try and get my health a bit more in check.
So I'm getting more upper.
It's definitely more upper than lower.
Okay.
The hip does get quite a lot of burning pain.
Okay,
on
so
occasion.
sometimes the hip and the lower back to me means something different to the patient. So if I ask you to show me the areas in your lower back and your hip, stand up if you need to, where would you be suffering that?
So when lower back goes on, I'm talking this area here, and that's sort of just
So from here to there?
here to here, yeah.
Okay,
and
that's
sort
your
of
whole
spreads
lumbar spine, yeah.
And then hip pain is literally this area right here.
Okay, so more glute, yeah?
There we go,
You
yeah.
wouldn't describe it as in here, like in the actual joint? Or?
I'm I'm trying to see.
Like around here and then...
No, it's definitely more.
Okay, more
like
top of the
this,
backside. Okay. Okay, because it's important to get a feel for where exactly we're looking at, right?
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay, now do you suffer any what we call radicular pain? That's pain that travels into your arms or your legs, pins and needles, numbness, tingling. So it's all local to those areas.
Yes.
So if we were just going to talk generally, just your back.
Yeah.
Okay, with a slight favouring towards the right side, right shoulder blade, right hip. Okay. Tell me, what are the things that make it worse?
That's something I've been trying to figure out myself.
So
Lying down,
bending forwards, but is
So-
that still an issue?
if it's sort of like, I guess, well, I got spasming or seizing up, moving forward or bending over does hurt it.
Uh-huh.
When I do like have those episodes, I guess, any sort of movement severely hurts it.
Okay.
So like moving my arm up, for example, gives me a lot of pain. Even turning around when I'm in bed, for example, is an extremely painful process.
Turning in bed at night.
Um,
What about in the mornings, putting pants on, tying shoelaces?
so as far as like day-to-day activity goes, no, like it's always painful, but it doesn't make the pain worse. Like I always notice pain, but it's not like it.
So you would
exacerbates
notice
the problem.
discomfort doing those things?
Yeah, well, I think I'm just in constant discomfort. I'm in discomfort more than I feel okay.
Okay. What about your sleep? Do you normally sleep on your back, on your stomach, on your side,
Usually I sleep on my side.
on your right side or your left, or
I sort of
change?
switch. I usually, I guess, I sleep on my right hand side, but I will usually go to sleep lying on my left hand side. But I move around a lot in bed.
Okay. So it doesn't make too much difference to how you feel whether you're on your right or your left.
No.
Either way, they can be just as uncomfortable.
That's it. Yeah.
And your mattress, do you think it's adequate?
I assume
Is it
so.
10 years old or something?
It's
or?
probably 10 years old.
Okay. Do you think it's time to change it?
Yeah, maybe.
Is it latex or spring based?
I'm
Or
assuming spring based.
and do you wake up in the morning in pain?
No, but when I'm lying on my back, I'm in pain, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So something about the sleeping process, I wake up feeling better. But if I was to lie on the floor now, for example, it would cause me a lot of discomfort.
Okay. If you were to lie on your back on the floor right now, you'd be in pain.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I am a big smorgasbord of issues and problems.
Okay. Well, at least you're honest. That's perhaps the first step, man. We'll see if we can chip away at them one at a time. What about moving from a sitting to a standing position?
No, nothing unusual. Like nothing causes me more discomfort. So like that doesn't cause me more discomfort. It's more so like the movements like this and going behind and around like I'm feeling that when I do that, but standing up and those
So like
movements.
if you were to throw a ball.
Throwing a ball would, if I'm bending back like that, but it's not going to be to the point where I can't throw the ball. I'll just feel the discomfort in there.
So
That's
throwing a ball
moving.
would be uncomfortable?
Well,
If you were to
I
peg
think
a ball as far as you could.
I'd be able to feel it, but it's not
Yeah.
going to be uncomfortable.
Okay. All right. Tell me a bit more about your job. I know that it's quite labour intensive, isn't it?
Yeah, so
'Cause you're working in hospitality.
working
essentially.
in hospitality management. I'm usually front of house, so maybe on an average
Yeah.
shift
So
I'll
you
work.
work in a restaurant.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
So average shift I'll do about 15 to 18,000 steps. In this
Wow,
course.
that's
yeah,
good.
it's a lot of walking.
And how many hours are you clocking up a week?
Realistically, probably like 50.
Okay. And generally speaking, are you better on the move because your job's quite labour intensive? So
I am until I have that sort of episode or spasm, and then it hurts to move at all.
So at some point during your shift, are you likely to have one of these episodes?
No, I can't give you a time frame of how often it occurs, but I'd say
Random.
at least once a month. And
Okay.
it'll last 3 or 4 days, and it just hurts to do everything.
Okay. So tell me, when you have these episodes, when you're feeling bad through your right shoulder blade and upper back and lower back and right hip, what are the things that you try to alleviate the discomfort?
I used to try medication. I don't really take medication
Drugs,
anymore.
yep. Like painkillers?
Yeah, painkillers.
Do they help?
The stronger ones did, but
Okay.
not to the point. Like drowsy side effects sort of affected work, and because it's such an ongoing issue, I decided that it wasn't really worth the hassle of
Okay.
feeling drowsy on occasion and trying to work at the same time.
Okay. Anything else? Heat, ice?
I have tried heat packs in the past. They kind of work, but they don't relieve the pain completely. But they do sort of aid, I guess, relax those muscles a bit, get rid of the inflammation, I'm assuming.
And any particular stretches? You mentioned that the chiro and the physio that you saw in the past gave you some things. Did they help?
Well, they focused a lot on trying to strengthen my core and straighten my core out. What they said was like my hips would go out of place, my back was obviously twisted.
Uh-huh.
They were focusing on trying to straighten me up. So a lot of the things I do is try and straighten my shoulders up, put them back, try and remain that sort of posture and that core thing to try and relieve any tension, but it doesn't really work.
But what did they actually give you? Did they tell you to do some planks, some bridges?
So
Did they literally ask you to go like this, or?
yeah, they told me to straighten the shoulders, push back, push out, just the
Chest up, shoulders back,
classic
and just try and
strong
keep that
posture, and then manually pull my hips forward.
What do you mean
sort
by
of-
pull your hips forward?
So
do you mean like
yeah,
like tucking your pelvis up
yeah,
like
that's
that?
it. And
Yeah.
like I try and do that a lot to try and sort of help it. It doesn't really
Yeah.
help, but that's the treatment they gave me.
Okay. Did they give you any exercises to do that actually gave you relief?
No.
So it's like, lie down on the floor, do this. Tell me how your back feels. Does it feel better from doing this, or does it feel? Do they do anything like that?
No, they told me to lie on the floor and do the same sort of thing. Push my hips into the air and hold that position.
Like a bridge.
Like a bridge, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. As a means to strengthen stuff
Yes.
that ultimately would
That would ultimately, I guess, would help.
reinforce your tissues and
Yes.
prevent pain.
Wasn't very successful.
Was that because it just didn't work, or,
Well, I
or
did it-
because did you try this like every single day?
I did it for about 6 months, 3-4 times a day. Like I was quite.
You held up your end of the bargain.
I did, and it just wasn't helping that much. And then I sort of just stopped after that. I was just like, I'm done with it, whatever.
How many sessions did you have with these guys?
The chiro only had that initial consult and then one after.
Okay.
And then with this physio, I went,
So we can count that, yeah.
physio, maybe 5 or 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. I'd go in, I'd do the same exercises with him. He'd put me up against the wall, measure the difference in my shoulders and my hips or whatever he'd do.
Okay.
And that was it. Go over those exercises again.
And did they actually treat you like hands-on stuff? Was there anything?
The chiro did. The physio didn't really. He sort of sat me down and showed me those exercises, and I'd do them with him, and that was the extent of his work.
Okay. All right.
The chiro would straighten my hips out or do what he does in the chiro benches.
Did you get anything out of it? Was there anything that you took from either of those people that was like, actually, if I had pursued this a bit more, I would have,
No. I think that's why it's been so long since I've tried to seek treatment again.
Okay.
So just
Because you lost a bit of faith.
that's it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so in the way of things that get it better, it's basically strong drugs, heat to a minor degree. Aside from that, you're a bit clueless.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
I'm hoping you can find
Okay.
me solutions.
So am I. Okay, so, but lying down, I mean, assuming that it's not on your back,
Yeah.
that we could also say sort of helps, because you said you wake up in the morning despite having a few episodes.
I'd say it definitely relieves the pain.
So we could say when you're non-weight bearing, at least when you're lying in a good position,
It does help.
It
yes.
helps. Okay, cool. All right. Lying down, but not on his back. I'll put. Out of 10, how bad is this? Where 10 is, this is awful, I hate this, Tom, I need you, to 0, it's fine, I
When
can
I'm
do
having those episodes I talked about, I'd say like a 10, 11.
Okay.
It hurts to breathe, it hurts to sort of live.
So definitely above 5 out of 10.
I'd
we'll
say average day-to-day basis, like a 7.
Okay, all right. Is there any pattern? I'm guessing no, I'm guessing that it's random, but do you
Yeah.
wake up every morning feeling rubbish? Is every evening poor?
No,
Would you say to me at the end of my shifts that I'm bad, or is it constant, or is it no? It's just random.
It's quite constant but random. Like I couldn't tell you something that brings it on more. I'm sorry, it's not much help, but like
No,
it's
no,
just
it's
been
alright.
something for so long. I don't really
Yeah.
know if there's certain things that bring it on more than not.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a pain.
So we could say that most of the time there's a low-level background
Yes.
discomfort
And then
with
sometimes-
random periods of oh my god, kill me.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we've covered your job. I'm saying that you're a fairly labour-intensive job with mixed duties, 50 hours a week. There's a bit of lifting and stuff involved.
Not too much.
Okay.
Just a lot of movement.
You're not having to deal with like taking deliveries and stacking them and things
I
like
do
that.
on occasion, but not enough for it to be
The
anything.
reason why
Yeah.
you're feeling the way you are. Okay. Tell me about your exercise regime in a typical week. How much exercise do you do?
At the moment, I feel like every month I'll start a routine, and then due to the pain, I usually hurt something or I'm in pain again and I stop.
Because you said powerlifting.
I
something
was
that
really
you
into
do.
powerlifting like 6-7
Yeah.
years ago. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed lifting in general.
Yeah.
And just with the pain, I'll go even for a walk 3 or 4 days of the week, and then my back will be out. It hurts to walk again, so I'll wait for it to heal, and then 2 weeks later, I've gotten out of the cycle and have to try and get myself back into it all again.
Okay.
So not as often as I'd like.
So apart from the incidental exercise that you do at work,
Yeah.
which sounds like a lot of walking, when you're not part of a gym, you're not a member of a gym.
I am a member of a gym.
Okay. When
just
last did you
once a
go
month.
to do a workout?
About probably a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which gym are you a member of?
Taramara Plus Fitness Space.
Oh, yeah, I
one
know
of
that.
those chains, the blue and
Plus-
orange one.
Plus Fitness. Yeah.
Whatever it is.
You're giving yourself away here a little bit.
Well, I'm straight honest about it. I'm not going to
Fitness
tell
First
you
is
that.
red.
Yeah,
Plus
so yeah.
Fitness is blue and orange.
They,
That's okay.
they all blur the lines with me, mate.
That's all right. Okay, so do you have aspirations to get back into powerlifting? Like, why are we doing this apart from obviously trying to get rid of this discomfort? Is there something that it's like, Tom, I want to address this because I want to get back into powerlifting?
Yeah, I just
or-
don't want to be fat anymore, and I struggle doing that because every time I work out, I'm in pain.
Okay. All right. So we can say that we need to address this issue so that you can get back into the gym,
That's it.
so that you can
Live a
start
healthy lifestyle.
feeling better about yourself. Okay,
That's it.
cool. All right. Because if we've both got a common goal here, we can work towards it. So the treatment, we've covered that with your chiro and your physio. When last did you have those X-rays? This is more than 5 years ago. It would have been
Yeah.
7 years ago. Okay. Do you have copies of those X-rays or a report or?
I could check, but I'd say there's a less than a 5%
Let's say no.
chance. Yeah.
Okay. And you haven't had any imaging since then.
No.
Okay. As a rule of thumb, I don't X-ray or get imaging from everyone that comes in here.
Yeah.
If I feel that it's necessary,
I'll get it
I
done.
might refer.
Yeah.
Usually we'll start with an X-ray. In your case, I'm thinking it might be worthwhile. But let's see after we do the exam, we'll
That's fine.
check. So I know you used to be a smoker, but for the
Yes.
last 2 years, no.
None.
Okay.
Probably a bit longer than 2 years now. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And any previous surgery, hospitalizations, medical conditions that you
yeah.
think I need to know about?
Got a nice little broken finger here.
The pinky, yep. Left pinky fracture. You said something like 9 operations?
I can't remember the number. I'm going to say between 8 and 12 somewhere. I had a lot of
Gosh.
work done on it, yeah. I was in a
It
cast
seems
for
like it
about
didn't
5
work.
years. No, it didn't. I think the surgeon cut the tendon in half in the first surgery and botched it up for good.
Far out.
Yeah.
Anything else apart from that?
No, I've potentially broken my ankle at one stage of my life, but I never got it treated. I just walked it off.
Okay.
A doctor said I may have had it fractured and it's just healed on its own. I've got
Okay.
quite a high pain threshold and tolerance, so...
Obviously, if you walked off an ankle fracture, I'd say you.
Look, I
Yeah,
never got
but-
the x-ray to prove it, that's just what the doctor said once.
Okay. All right. So we've covered everything. Is there anything else going on in your life right now that you need to discuss or address?
No, I just
Okay.
want to get to that stage where I can get rid of this thing.
All right. Well, let's take a look at you and see what you can and you can't
Yeah.
do. So, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yeah, thanks, mate. Good on you.